Usually, when I do these 49ers quality control meetings, I invite members of the coaching staff, Kyle Shanahan, John Lynch, Robert Saleh when he used to work here. But today I'm not doing that. Kyle's not invited. John can't come. In fact, no one can come. I'm sitting here in my quality control office by myself, talking to myself. So this is just a monologue that no one's going to hear. The information is so sensitive that I couldn't let anyone hear. It's amazing I'm actually saying this out loud. It's dangerous that I'm saying this out loud because the walls could hear. So this is just me talking to myself, and John and Kyle, I'm sure they wanted to come, but no, I don't want them to hear what I'm about to say. It's way too sensitive. I'm going to go through all the options and make some predictions because I think I know enough, and I don't want them to know that I know. I don't want them to know that I know. So let's talk about it like that. Richard Sherman says the 49ers should draft Justin Fields. He went on Chris Collinsworth Pro Football Focus podcast. He's a veteran of that. He was on during the season. Not a 49er anymore, still talking about the Niners, which is interesting. And he goes on and gives a long, Richard Sherman-esque, astute, in-depth, perceptive analysis of why the 49ers should draft Justin Fields, why he's perfect for them. And what he says really is that, Justin Fields is the best pocket quarterback available. That's what Sherman says. And that the running is just a bonus. You look at his completion percentage, his record in big games, that he's the perfect quarterback for the 49ers. I think it's interesting that someone who's no longer on the 49ers is putting a little pressure on him, saying what they should do. I don't think John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan appreciate a former player speculating about what they should do. It's pretty interesting. Does he have an ulterior motive there? I read it a different way. Is it possible the Niners draft Justin Fields? Sure. I don't think they will, though. I think what's happening here, no one knows where Justin Fields is going to go. Early on in the process, a lot of people were knocking him, talking about all of his weaknesses. I mean, he was the first guy who got all the brunt of the criticism. And then it seems like after that subsided, after everyone got their criticisms out there and they were agreed upon, there was a second wave of Justin Fields analysis that pretty much aimed to invalidate every single criticism about the kid. And it seems like for the last 2, 3, 4 weeks, that has been the prevailing attitude about Justin Fields, that the original analysis was too harsh in a lot of ways, and that he's great. He's a hell of a player. His upside is as high as anyone's in this draft, maybe the highest. That seems to be how everyone's talking these days. And it's funny how people assume Justin Fields will be available for the 49ers. The way I look at it, I'm not sure that he necessarily will be there and that Richard Sherman will be right. It seems to me that everyone's assuming what the Jets are going to do at number 2, but they haven't said. They haven't said it all. And so while Richard Sherman says the Niners should draft Justin Fields, I don't think he's going to be available. This is why I didn't invite Kyle Shanahan or John Lynch to my quality control meeting, because I don't want them to know what I think I know. I don't think Justin Fields is going to be available. I think what's happening here, if Richard Sherman thinks that highly of Justin Fields, you know who else I think probably thinks very highly of Justin Fields? Robert Saleh. Robert Saleh and Richard Sherman are like this. They spent so much time talking together on the practice field and the meetings. They really respect each other's opinion. If Richard Sherman's that sold on Justin Fields, I would think Robert Saleh is as well. I do think it's possible that Saleh and Kyle Shanahan look at quarterbacks differently. One's a defensive guy who's been worried about, who's had real problems defending mobile quarterbacks in the past. Not always, but he has had those issues. He may have more of an appreciation for what a mobile quarterback, the types of issues and problems they pose for a defense, as opposed to Kyle, who wants a guy who fits his offensive system. So I'm thinking that the Jets are going to take Justin Fields, that all of this recent positivity towards him is going to be, the Jets are going to agree with it. Robert Saleh is going to like him, and they're going to have him start day one because the Jets need a day one starter. They don't have Flacco anymore. Saleh didn't tell me. Why would Saleh tell me this? Are you kidding? I wouldn't even ask him. First of all, it would be ridiculous to ask him, hey, Robert, who are you going to draft? I won't tell anyone. I'm just going to speculate. And then if he told me, he'd be an idiot. Robert Saleh is not an idiot. So no, he didn't tell me. I'm just guessing here, and I'm usually wrong with my guesses. But I'm thinking they take Justin Fields. They think he can start right away, and they feel that he can develop. Remember, they need a quarterback who can start right away. And Justin Fields, he's played in more big games. You might wonder about the quarterback from BYU, Zack Wilson. Just playing at BYU, just one good year, didn't play a lot of top 25 teams, didn't play a lot of NFL players, may not be ready to go right away. I know it seems like a long shot, and everyone expects the Jets to take Zack Wilson, but they're not really linked to him. No one really knows what the Jets are doing. And I think that there's 3 weeks left before the draft happens. I think there's a strong possibility they take Justin Fields. And the quarterback that everyone wants the Niners to take, Fields, won't even be available. So Sherman, I respect what you're trying to do and how you're trying to paint the Niners into a corner. You know that Mac Jones will be a very unpopular pick. Your team, Justin Fields, and you're putting Shanahan in a hard spot. The Jets might make this easy on the Niners. The Jets might make this easy on the Niners and take Justin Fields. That's why I say the Niners are going to draft Zack Wilson. I think a lot of people feel like, man, there's no way the Niners traded up for Mac Jones. Like, you can say what you want about Mac Jones, that he's a good pocket passer, or he fits the system, or he's better than Jimmy Garoppolo. He's just not worth 3 first-round picks. He's not. He doesn't have that kind of potential. He's never going to be a top 5 quarterback in the league. He's going to be Kirk Cousins at best. And you know what? There's a lot of truth to that. I wouldn't trade up for Mac Jones. I wouldn't give 3 first-round picks for Mac Jones. So I think everyone around the league is like, there's no way. There's no way they like Mac Jones that much. There's got to be something else going on. And I think one theory that's got to be going around the league is that the Niners heard from the Jets that Wilson isn't their guy. That's what Jim Mora Jr. speculated on this show last week. He said, they got to have heard. There's no way they traded up for Mac Jones. They heard Wilson wasn't the Jets guy. I didn't know who. I was thinking maybe Pitts, Sewell. Hey, maybe it's Fields. And Wilson is sitting right there for the 49ers, and they take him. I'm not saying that Zack Wilson's necessarily going to be a better NFL quarterback than Mac Jones. I don't know. Neither of these guys have a lot of experience. They're both projections. I'm not that confident in either one. But it seems that, at least from a PR standpoint, if the Niners get Zack Wilson, they win the day. They'll seem like they won the trade at first. Fans will be happy. Fans will be overjoyed that it's not Mac Jones. Fans will be doing cartwheels. So what they could maybe be doing here is under-promising and over-delivering. At least there's the perceived perception that Zack Wilson could be the next Patrick Mahomes or Aaron Rodgers. I don't really see that. I see kind of like Kyler Murray light. Still, though, he's a little bit taller than Kyler Murray. Interesting player. I think that's why the Niners traded up, because they really like Zack Wilson. Now, I bet you when they draft him, they're going to say he actually was our top player on our board. We liked him better than Trevor Lawrence. We're so happy. We didn't think he was going to be here. We thought the Jets were going to take him, and we just were so surprised. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Oh, we really couldn't see this coming. We really thought the Jets were going to take him. We moved up thinking we were going to get Mac Jones, and then boom, Zack Wilson fell to us. We're lucky. Robert Saleh didn't tell us. We didn't know. It's just the luck of the – yeah, sure, for sure. That's how I think it's going to happen. Zack Wilson is going to just magically fall to the 49ers, and the Jets are going to talk themselves into Justin Fields, who I think a lot of Niner fans prefer Justin Fields to Zack Wilson. I put a poll out on Twitter yesterday. Who's better? It was like split 50-50. I think Fields 151-49. So if Niner fans think Justin Fields is better than Zack Wilson, who's to say the Jets don't? Who's to say Fields isn't better than Zack Wilson? I'm going to take a couple questions. Even though I'm sitting in an office by myself, talking to myself, these questions magically appear. Chris says, 49ers know Jets are taking Wilson. That's why Joe Douglas loves him, and he is making the pick, not Saleh. I feel you, Chris. And I saw your DM, and I know you got some amazing information. But there's still not any solid reporting from anyone about what's happening. I've seen some private stuff on DMs, but nothing solid. So look, A lot could change. I think they're going Fields. I think they're going Fields. We'll see, Chris. I see you, Chris. Andrew says, consider the Ohio State connection. Do you think Urban knows enough to pull the trigger with Fields? If he doesn't, that's all I need to know. Yeah, I don't think he's taking Justin Fields. I think they've already said they're taking Trevor Lawrence. I think there's real questions about Justin Fields, but some people think that he's the total package. And if that's the case, the Jets might be one of those teams. I could see selling Justin Fields to the New York fan base easier than freaking Zack Wilson. I mean, who the hell in New York has ever seen Zack Wilson play football? Ever? They put BYU games on in New Jersey? I don't think so. You know, why did Miami take Tua over Justin Herbert? Well, Tua's a celebrity in Florida. No one's ever heard of Justin Herbert down there. Why did the Rams take Jared Goff over Carson Wentz? Well, Jared Goff's from California. Jared Goff played at Cal. People in LA had heard of him. Carson Wentz went to North Dakota State. Who the hell had ever heard of Carson Wentz in LA? Sometimes ownership makes decisions for the wrong reasons. So we'll see what happens with the Jets. Let's see. There was one more. Hold on. Hold the phone. Hold the phone. Bruce Cohn says, who replaces Bourne? And if you don't mind me asking, do you have to have a lot of inside knowledge to be your guys' live chats? No, you just have to have a face to be in my live chat. As long as you have a face and a name, we can go. We can work. No, really, the guys who come on my show are extremely knowledgeable, and I'm becoming more and more selective. Bruce, so we'll see what you got. Why don't you call on the Cohn phone and bring your talents up against the Amines of the world. Okay, so Richard Sherman says Justin Fields. I say Zack Wilson. The rest of the insiders say freaking Mac Jones. Adam Schefter says the Niners are going to draft Mac Jones. He says it's going to be the pick. Matt Mayoko says don't be surprised. Expect it to be the pick. I find this very interesting. So many people who are at the top of the reporting game are saying this. Like, Adam Schefter isn't the kind of guy who's hustling for his first scoop and is going to take a source that's a little dicey and pass it off as the truth. This is Adam freaking Schefter, okay? He wrote Mike Shanahan's book. You go on Google and look for what's called like the winning something as, I don't know, how to thinking like a champion, one of them sports book titles. It's written by Adam Schefter. Mike Shanahan as told to Adam Schefter. So he's got some pretty good sources in the Shanahan house. And if he's going out on a limb, he's not in the business of getting things wrong. I mean, he gets things wrong sometimes, but he's trying not to. He's playing it safe. He's at the top of the game. He's not going to take risks. He's not going to do things that he perceives as risks. Say with Matt Mayoko. Matt Mayoko is not in the business of getting things wrong. Why would he? He's already the top Niners beat writer. He doesn't need a scoop to make it and get noticed. No, if he says it this adamantly, if Chris Sims says it, if Adam Schefter says it, I gotta think they've got some good information. But I still don't think the Niners take Mac Jones. I feel like if all these people who are very close to Kyle are saying the same thing, like it's gonna be Mac Jones, I gotta feel like that's information the Shanahans are okay with being out there. I don't know if they floated it themselves, but it's a coincidence. And it seems like it's coordinated. I don't know. So it seems like if the Niners are okay with people thinking that they're taking Mac Jones, and that's not plan A, that is plan B. That is what they would settle for. And that is what they are getting fans ready for if the Jets do take Zack Wilson, if they, take the guy the Niners want. So you you float somehow to your respected national local journalists that, hey, don't be surprised, Mac Jones is the pick, knowing you're looking for Zack Wilson. And if you don't get him, well, at least people are, habituated to this outcome. It's been talked about. They were upset. They gnashed their teeth. They got over it. They went through the 5 levels of grief and accepted it. So the fact that all these, I don't dismiss it. It's Adam freaking Schefter. It's Matt freaking Mayoko. These guys are the best. But the fact that it's out there and they all saying the same thing almost makes me feel like the Shanahans want it out there. And if they want it out there, then why? Not because it's totally off the mark, but because it's the second option. It's the fallback option. And it may be ultimately what they end up doing. But I'm sticking with Zack Wilson being the surprise pick for the 49ers. Paul says, I thought fans were tired of taking players who had injury history. He had shoulder surgery. Shouldn't that be a concern? Yes, Paul. Go back and watch Zack Wilson in 2019. He was coming off shoulder surgery. He didn't look that good. He didn't have that great of a year. He was okay. But watch him against USC, it looks like his shoulder hurts. It looks like he's babying the throws. As a former JV baseball player who constantly had a sore arm, I know what it looks like when a dude is in pain at the release point. It looked like that, but it didn't look like that for him in 2020. So yeah, it's a concern. He had shoulder surgery, not because of a contact injury, just because of his throwing. He's got one of these 3/4 releases with a lot of torque on his shoulder. Could happen again, or it couldn't. I mean, he could be Stephen Curry, the guy who had the weak ankle and all of a sudden didn't. You never know, but he is a concern. It's one of the reasons why Jets might not take him. All right. Hold on. There's Bruce again. There's Paul. What's up, Paul? Zach, is it possible Pitts first and Trask in a second? I'm going to talk about that right now. Hold on. I'm going to talk about that right now. Trask did tear up the division with nothing but Pitts. Yeah, I'm going to talk about that right now. Grant, did you hear about Zack Wilson's surgeries he had on high throwing hand and a surgery on his throwing arm? Yup. It's scary, Jordan. It's scary. But maybe that's part of the reason why the Jets will take Fields over Wilson. Something to think about. All right. No one seems to think that the Niners are going to draft Trey Lance. You got the people like Richard Sherman who think they're going to take Justin Fields. You got people like Adam Schefter who think they're going to take Mac Jones. Then you got people like me who think they're going to take Zack Wilson. What about Trey Lance? No one seems to think they're going to take Trey Lance. What's up with that? Trey Lance seems like a pretty good guy, pretty good actor, pretty good quarterback. Why isn't he getting it? Well, here's the way I look at it. I don't know where that voice came from. It seems to me with Trey Lance and where the Niners are at right now, they're in win now mode. And any quarterback they take, they think they can win now with. They think he's better than Jimmy Garoppolo right now. Mac Jones, Zack Wilson, whomever. Justin Fields. I don't think you can say that about Trey Lance. Everyone agrees that Trey Lance needs time. Everyone agrees that Trey Lance lacks experience and would benefit from a year or two on the bench. I don't think the Niners can justify drafting a quarterback who needs 2 years on the bench. Because if he's backing up Jimmy Garoppolo, he could be starting week 2. He could be starting week 1. He may not be afforded that opportunity. And plus, this is a win now team. This is a team that's old, that has a lot of players in their 30s. What is the point of trading up for a guy who can't even contribute this year or next year? I think that's why we're not hearing anything with Trey Lance. The Niners really are in win now mode. And even though they said they're keeping Jimmy and they don't know if they can win with the rookie, you don't trade up this far to put the guy on the bench for 2 years. Hey, we really loved him. We traded 3 first-round picks, but he's not quite ready. And he may not be ready for 3 years. But don't worry, he's going to be great. I just can't see it. I think he's a better fit for a team that's starting completely over. Like, the Lions. Let him go back up Jared Goff. That kind of thing. A team that has no expectations can take him. Otherwise, he's just going to break your heart. It's going to break your heart. All right. Take some questions. Boom. Hold on. Jordan. Yep, I heard you. Jay Christopher says, all these smoke screen on Mac Jones is to be able to stomach drafting Trey Lance with limited pass attempts start. Oh, that's a very interesting conspiracy theory, that what you do is you throw out the quarterback that no one wants. Mac Jones. It's going to be Mac Jones. It's going to be Mac Jones. It's going to be Mac Jones. Hey, Adam Schefter, it's going to be Mac Jones. And then when it's Trey Lance, Niner fans are like, thank God. Thank God. Oh, my God. Thank you. I don't even know who Trey Lance is. I've never really watched any of his games. I've seen 7 of his highlights. He looks good to me. At least he's not Mac Jones. Hey, there's something to that. You guys think that's what's going on? Trey Lance is a tough sell. Trading up to number 3 for a guy who played 1 year in Division 1 AA football. Yeah, it's a tough sell, but Niner fans would be like jumping for joy if it's not Mac Jones. So that's a very interesting conspiracy theory. Très intéressant. Très intéressant. Just a little French. All right, let me get to my last couple topics. So no one thinks the Niners are going to draft Trey Lance. No one thinks the Niners are going to draft Kyle Pitts, which is amazing because to me, this guy is the second best player in the draft. Trevor Lawrence, Kyle Pitts, and then players after him. Like if you were ranking these players on a 1 to 100 scale, Pitts would be like a 98, like the highest graded tight end to ever come out of college. And then Lawrence would be like a 98 too. Maybe Pitts would be a 97. And then Fields would be like a 91. Wilson would be like a 91. Mac Jones would be like a 91. You know, like sure you need a quarterback, but remember when they used to talk about best player available? Take the best player available. Don't reach for need. Don't reach for need. Well, I guess people don't think that way anymore. Whoever gets Kyle Pitts is getting a game changer. It could be the Niners if they secretly like Kellen Mond as much as I do, but it doesn't seem like they do. So let's say Kyle Pitts goes to the Falcons, 4th pick, or someone trades up for him. But let's go with the Falcons at number 4. That means that the Falcons are going to be pretty good next year because they'll have Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley, and Kyle Pitts. Maybe the 3 best weapons, the best weapon trio in the league, along with Matt Ryan, who's not old. And you look at that division, Saints could fall off. They don't have Drew Brees anymore. Carolina's quarterback is Sam Darnold. I don't take them seriously. Bucs are still good. It's down to the Bucs and the Falcons. The Falcons could be a legit playoff team. The Falcons could be better than the Niners next year. Kyle Pitts is probably going to be the rookie of the year. If you haven't watched this dude, you should watch him. Anyway, with the Niners, why I bring this up is the Niners created the Buccaneers by not taking Tom Brady when he wanted to come. The Niners created that team. You know, you say John Lynch hasn't built a Super Bowl winner. Well, he built the Bucs. And if they don't take Kyle Pitts at 3, then they're setting the Falcons up or whomever takes Pitts. And the thing about the Falcons is they're an NFC team as well. Team the Niners might have to face in the playoffs. And I'm just willing to bet my reputation as a sports analyst, which is so high, that Pitts is going to have a better career than all the quarterbacks in this draft except Lawrence. So this will be the next guy the Niners don't draft. Let's see if I'm right. Seems like a no-brainer guy, and you're passing him up to take a guy who's had 600 throws or 500 throws or 300 throws. Like, okay, good luck. I know you need a quarterback, but back in my day, you took best player available. Keith. So we're taking another Alabama player with DUI in his pass in the first round. I actually agree with you for once. We're not drafting Jones. I think it's Zack Wilson. I think they're floating out plan B so that when plan A hits, Niner fans call Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch geniuses. Geniuses. Maybe not, though. Got so many wine bottle bets open right now that I'm going to lose. I just probably should stop while I'm ahead. Kyle Shanahan says, I was told I wasn't supposed to be here. Yeah, Kyle, go. Kyle, this is not for you, okay? This is a private time for me, myself. Final thing. This is interesting. Kyle, go. Hold on, we got one more. Hi, Grant. Where would you rank the Niners in the NFC West if they draft Kyle Pitts? They draft Kyle Pitts and Jimmy Garoppolo could stay healthy. Who's to say they're not the best team in the NFC West? I don't see how you defend an offense with Pitts and Kittle on the field at the same time. I don't see how the Niners wouldn't have the best red zone offense in the league with Pitts on the field. Imagine what you could do. When you get in the red zone, you put Pitts out at wide receiver, 6'6". Who can cover that? I mean, as a pure receiving prospect, I think he's the best one of all time at tight end. Like, he's so much quicker and faster than Rob Gronkowski, Vernon Davis, George Kittle. He moves like a wide receiver, and he's 6'6" with the longest arms ever recorded by a pass catcher coming into the league. So, yeah, if the Niners draft Pitts, I think they're Super Bowl contenders. And it's like, well, Jimmy has to stay healthy. Yeah, well, put Josh Rosen on a team with Pitts and Kittle and Debo and Ayuk and Mostert. I mean, really, put any starting quarterback on that team. Pretty good. It's going to be pretty good. Or you could roll the dice with a first-round rookie quarterback, and those guys bust 75% of the time. So up to you. I think Pitts is a 0% bust probability, but what do I know? Tanner says, would Robert Saleh drive Zack Wilson? Rob likes big, strong guys. So I'm saying, Zack Wilson's little. Justin Fields is big. And I think he's more the kind of quarterback who has given Robert Saleh's defenses problems the last few years. I can see Robert Saleh liking him. All right. Last one. Little nugget. That's interesting. Naji Harris says he's been in like constant contact with the 49ers. And I think people were thinking, well, now he's off the board because the Niners traded up. Well, not so fast. Running backs typically don't get drafted in round 1 anymore. Naji Harris could go in the 30s, in the 40s. I would not rule out the Niners taking Naji Harris or a running back in round 2. Because again, I said the Niners are in win now mode. I think they're trading up for a quarterback who will play now. And I think the other thing they may feel they need to win now is a dependable running back, because Raheem Mostert's great when he's not hurt. Jeff Wilson's great when he's not hurt. They had to start Jerick McKinnon 4 times last year. That's a problem. It's a run-first team. You can't have a quarter of your season resting on your third-string running back. It's very – so, look, would I draft a running back that high? I probably wouldn't. I think they could probably find guys later. But they would. I mean, Kyle's made huge investments in running back, from trading up for Joe Williams to signing Jerick McKinnon to a $30 million contract. I think the Niners feel if they could get Zack Wilson in round 1 and Najee Harris in round 2, then boom, they're Super Bowl contenders. Now you've made Zack Wilson's job easy. You're back to the formula you had in 2019, except with a workhorse running back who can win the Super Bowl in the second half, unlike Tevin Coleman or, a big bruiser like Leonard Fournette, who iced the game away for the Bucs a couple of months ago. So I think it's interesting that Najee Harris dropped that information. We know that the Niners running back coach, Bobby Turner, is notorious for being in contact with the running backs he likes and the Niners want to draft before. Seems like they may have tipped their hand. Seems like the Niners are going to be looking at the best running backs available. And it's interesting. You usually think of the Niners going for like a 6 foot, 200-pound guy who runs a 4.3 at running back. But they got those guys. They have Mostert. What they don't have is a true bell cow. That's what Najee Harris is. And what's funny is he was at Alabama in an offense that's extremely similar to the Niners offense, run by Steve Sarkisian, basically built. Steve Sarkisian succeeded Kyle Shanahan in Atlanta for 2 years, basically built his offense in Shanahan's image, then took that to Alabama. So you can see Najee Harris running all the same runs the Niners run, the zone runs, the power runs, and catching the screen passes that the Niners throw. You can see him fit the Niners offense. You can see how they would use him. I think it's interesting that he said that, and I actually wouldn't be shocked if the Niners took Najee Harris with their second pick. They might have to trade up to get him. Keep that in mind. Andrew says, does Penei Sewell interest you in a division with Donald and now J.J. Watt and our running game? Would that work? Also what? Yeah, sure pick than most quarterbacks. Yeah, he does interest me. I think you could argue that if Lawrence is the best, Pitts is the second best, Sewell is the third best player in the draft. Maybe even better than Pitts, although I'll take Pitts. I think Pitts is going to be scoring 10 to 15 touchdowns a year. But Sewell's great. If the Niners took him, they could trade Mike McGlinchey for whatever and actually have an excellent offensive line to protect Jimmy Garoppolo. I know the Niners are really eager to get rid of Jimmy Garoppolo for good reason, but he's better at his job than Mike McGlinchey is. No offense. I've done enough with Mike McGlinchey. I'm just trying to be analytical here. I'd be cool with that. But I would take Kyle Pitts. That's the guy I like. I think Kyle Pitts is a Hall of Famer. Is Penei Sewell a Hall of Famer? Possibly. I just feel a little bit more strongly about Pitts. Good question. You said Najee's a luxury. Hey, I'm just saying what I think. What I think Kyle's going to do. That's why I didn't invite Kyle to this meeting, because I don't want him to know that I know what he knows. I don't want him to know that I know that he knows that I know what he knows. So I'm not ready to go there yet. So this is private, just between me and me. All right, last one, and then I'm out. Michael says, Shefty also said that very smart and well-connected people are telling me the Browns will take Trubisky and they drafted Garrett. Well, I guess Adam Schefter is wrong. And then I guess that him saying it's Mac Jones is proof that the Niners are really going to draft Kellen Mond with the number 3 pick, which makes me happy, you know. I like that. You're right, dude. Way to crack that case. I'm sorry. I'm snarky today. I didn't sleep well last night. I'm going to take a nap. Thanks for watching, everyone, although you weren't invited. So I take the thank you back. Stop watching. Don't watch next time. I feel exposed. Everyone else, thanks for not watching. I'll be back later on this evening with some new shows and 49ers After Dark at 7. I'll see you then.